Let's take our monthly look at the state of the rural real estate market. Our man is Peter Newbold, the GM of PGG Rights and Real Estate. Today he's in the Christchurch office. He's based in the beautiful Gibbston Valley, just outside of Queenstown and Arrowtown there. And Peter, no doubt this is probably the first time since lockdown that you've ventured into a plane and headed north.
Yeah, it is actually. It's the first time I've sort of got out of the home office, so in some respects, it's quite nice to get out and about and start meeting with people and speaking to those at the coalface doing all the work.
Did you wear a face mask on the plane?
No, I didn't, to be honest, but we were sort of spread. We all had to sit next to the windows, and it was, I felt very comfortable, and I must admit the airport was well organised and, pretty smooth flying.
Just before we get on to rural real estate, how's Queenstown faring?
Oh, look, I think it's in a tough space. That's my own opinion. And, I went into Arrowtown the other day and, there's not a lot of activity. And I am concerned that, some of those in Wellington just haven't probably really got a grip on it yet. And I wonder if some of them should venture to that part of the world and just see how challenging it is for, especially those younger people who were involved in it. And that's where their livelihood came from. And some of those big operators, God, you worry.
Yeah, you do, and you only need to take note of what Air New Zealand and Fletcher's did yesterday as a sign of things to come. Perhaps. I hope I'm wrong on that one. Look, there's some positivity. Let's be positive. There's some positivity out there in the primary sector, and I know that you were talking to your guy in the Bay of Plenty, Stan Robb. If there's a kiwi fruit farm to be sold in the Bay of Plenty, Stan probably sells it. We had Todd Muller on the show on Tuesday saying what a great job Simon was doing, which was rather ironic. But he also said that he was singing the praises of the kiwi fruit industry. 28,000 workers went in there on day 3 of level 4 lockdown. Not one person got COVID. And I look at kiwi fruit, I look at the grape industry, I look at the apple industry, I look at dairy chugging along quite nicely, and even the meat industry getting through its work. And I'm thinking there's a lot of positivity out there in the primary sector.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. The only area that you probably worry about is, like Hawke's Bay where there's drought. And again, I do worry there, and I think they need more support. But put that to one side, kiwi is looking good. And as you said, Stan, speaking with him this morning, they've had strong sales. The crops are good. They're just waiting for the licence number to come out next week. But, he's got, listings coming to the market. And, so things look positive. And as you said, that's the same for viticulture. And if you go to general farming, we're seeing, good interest in that sort of sheep and beef that's got capacity. And, again, that same thing, quality, capacity, works. And it's quite good. The other thing that's interesting at the moment is we're getting quite a bit of inquiry, and it's not all just local inquiry. So, where people, and also people that aren't, maybe from the city or more corporate. So it's sort of changed a little bit since the lockdown.
Now, our PGG Rights and Property of the Week, which we were going to try and sell today, well, it's too late. You can shut the gate on that one because it's been sold. But we're going to throw it out there because this is an example of the properties you were talking about. Sheep and beef properties with perhaps other land use potential, might even be wintering of dairy cows or something like this one. This one's at Ruapuna, which apparently is in just near Mount Somers. It's just under the foot of the Southern Alps. Beautiful. I'm looking at the picture of it. Beautiful looking property.
Yeah, look, and I thought it was a good example to show that, if you present a property well and it's got capacity and, the infrastructure's good and, the marketing is done correctly and all that, they will sell and there's demand for them. So, out there, if you've got it priced right and it's set up correctly, then there's buyers out there. So, it's quality.
Yeah, invest in the future, invest in the primary sector. Just one to finish on. We're still a bit gun-shy, aren't we, around dairy farming?
Yeah, and I think we are. If I look at all the interest at the moment that's coming in, and it has surprised me since the lockdown, the amount of interest that we are getting. Dairy is at not the same levels as hort and sheep and beef. And again, we've often talked about it on your show. I think some of them have really got to look at the yield piece rather than the capital gains, or otherwise they're just not going to move them.
Well, that should be the story with all farming ventures, to be honest. And the good news is your agents are out and about. They're not in lockdown. They're doing appraisals for the spring market. Hopefully it lifts a bit. Peter Newbold, enjoy your day in Christchurch and good luck flying back without a face mask to Queenstown.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, and you have a good day too.